Welcome to this week's pocket edition of Faces of Africa, CGTN's documentary series that has been bringing you the stories of great Africans for 15 years. Joining me this week is Jeff Muthee, who is the director of this week's film, Transformers: The Rise of Tech in Zambia. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi, Daniel. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you here, and it's great to get an inside look of what it's like to go filming in small towns in Zambia. So you weren't hanging out in Lusaka, were you?
No. We were fortunate enough not to be in Lusaka all that time, right? So we went about 400 kilometers all the way towards Livingstone to a very remote village in Muchila. It's called Muchila, and it was quite an adventure because, first of all, turning from the main road to there's a place where you turn in and then you now start getting the dirt roads. That's about another 70 kilometers of just dirt roads. No network. Network kept on disappearing in between the road. As we were coming back, we had a tire burst and we were stranded for like half of the day because we couldn't call out. Right, there was no network, and the most interesting bit was that village is so remote, and once you get there, there's 5G technology. Right, you can be able now to call, you can be able to watch movies, stream your episodes. The internet there is incredibly fast, powered of course by Huawei.
Now, you tied together three different tech stories for this episode. Tell us about how you wove those together and what similarities there were between the different initiatives.
Great question. Thanks, Daniel. So what happened was it was all driven by tech. So we looked at three different companies that are using tech and AI to just help improve the lives of Zambians and Zambia as a country, right? So the first one was Huawei, where they went and set up a smart hub in a certain village called Muchila, where now they managed to bring in the internet, they managed to bring in solar power, and connectivity, of course. So the local hospital can be able to diagnose and link patients to like doctors in Lusaka for specialized consultations. They can be able to upgrade their their records. They can be able even to back up the records that they have in Muchila, 400 kilometers away in Lusaka, right? The local school there has a smart hub with high-speed internet where the kids can be able to connect to different schools even in Lusaka, and they can be able to have like live discussions over the internet. So it's pretty impressive. Local businesses, there's now there's a local businessman that we found that was selling I was doing like the money transfer thing because now the internet is stable. A local barber that was googling like the latest styles in America, and he cannot be able to apply that all the way in Muchila. And then the other company was AgriPredict, which was using AI to help farmers predict the weather, match farmers to buyers, and even advise farmers which is the best time to plant instead of just planting using the traditional knowledge. Nothing wrong with that, but now this is more accurate because it's driven by science, it's driven by data, it's driven by AI. Now farmers have accurate information of when to plant, and once they plant, they can be able to get extension services like if they are facing some problems with their crops, they can be able to reach out to somebody who can be able to advise them online and all that. So you can see that's the company is trying to help Zambia become food sufficient using technology. And the last company we did was Dawa Health, which was using also an AI platform to try and curb the deaths that happen during pregnancy, the deaths of the mothers and the deaths of the children. So they onboard the mothers onto a platform. The mothers can be able to interact with the doctor. They remind the mothers of when their next due date is to go to visit a clinic, they can be able to take that services to the mothers if they can't be able to travel. The mother to be needs to do is just send a prompt and say, hey, can you guys come to me at such and such locations? Imagine they'll send an ambulance, they'll send in community health workers, and they'll go there. So they've seen a reduction of maternal deaths, and all that is thanks due to technology.
Now, whenever a filmmaker is shooting something in a rural area, and of course when you're doing tech, which so much of it is behind the scenes, did you meet the challenge of making this a visual story?
Well, it was pretty challenging, but what we did was just try and connect it to an individual. If it's we visited the barber, and we just took a few shots of him just shaving his clients and going onto the internet on his phone, getting paid via phone, like mobile money. We went to the local vendor who's like the distributor of SIM cards in that village, and he explained to us how business grew before the technology came, and now that he has technology, and now just getting to see him interact, people can be able to pay him via mobile money. So that one is something that you can just quickly be able to set it up and film. For the school, it was pretty easy because we could see the kids. We went and got into their digital class, and we saw them interacting live with the internet and with other colleges, and the teacher just taking them through the Idea Hub, and you could see the interaction between the kids, the internet, and their colleagues far away. For the hospital, we just saw the hospital never used to operate at night. Right, but right now we actually shot late into the night to just prove that actually it runs 24 hours. The hospital runs 24 hours because now they have power, they have internet. In case of anything, it's just an email or just a prompt away to Lusaka, and those are things that you can be able to just see as you're filming on the ground in a remote village.
Now, being that they're remote villages, it must have been hard to find characters. How did you go about researching this and be able to identify people that would be interesting to your audience?
Fantastic, great question. So how we managed to identify that, of course, we had like a local fixer, and then we did a lot of interaction before pre-planning. We pre-planned the shoot before getting to Zambia. Right, so we had a list of different characters and different business people. So we went eliminating, like looking at the people that have a really good story. That's how we narrowed it down to the barber, we narrowed it down to the shopkeeper, and of course the in charge of the hospital. Yeah, so that wasn't very hard to get. The most amazing one was the agriculture one, which we just had the company that was doing it, but we didn't have an actual farmer, and the story would not have been complete without an actual farmer. So when we went to the ground, we got, it was a day where they go to meet farmers, and like an extension day, they go to meet farmers. So we listened in, we filmed a bit, and we just looked for a young guy who's in agriculture. And boy, didn't we get a character. And the character that we got, he is a guy who had made losses before. And now after using AgriPredict, he started making profits, right? So he managed to put a roof of iron sheets on his house. He managed to pay dowry, which they call lobola, for his wife. He's managed to buy 3 cars. He was such a great character. He actually carried the story of AgriPredict and the impact that app is making on the ground.
So tell us something that happened when you were in Zambia that we won't see in this film.
Whoa, something happened. I had mentioned it before. Was we got stuck. We got stuck as we were coming from Muchila. Our car burst a tire, right? And when it burst a tire, it was a remote place where there was no other place where we could fix it. We were stuck literally in the middle of nowhere. Okay, the network was just there was some places had network, some other places didn't have network. So I had to walk a few miles, and where the place where I got network, I called one of the nurses that we interviewed in the documentary. I put her on speakerphone because I can't speak the local language. Walked into somebody's compound. my phone on speakerphone, right? So I'm just telling her, just please talk in a local language because I'm a stranger walking into somebody's compound in the middle of the bush. So when the lady we met there, the mother of the lady of the house had, so I was just signaling her, just listen. So tell my contact, okay, now talk to her. She's here. So now she spoke to in a local dialect, and I think she understood our predicament. She came and brought for us some seats, and we had to just wait it out. The help came from a friend that we had met during shooting. So it's good to be very good to people who sent a vehicle to rescue us in the middle of the bush. We tried stopping buses, tried stopping long distance lorries, but it was just nobody could help us because the tire that we had was one of those low rider tires, and that was a highlight. But all in all, the shoot went very, very well. I loved Zambia. The people are very warm, very welcoming. Very safe country and very orderly.
Well, I urge our audience to tune in at 12:30 East Africa time on Sunday to see Jeff's labor of love, Transformers: The Rise of Tech in Zambia. Yeah. Any closing thoughts, Jeff?
Oh, man, I think for Africa to develop, we really need to get into the AI space, get into the tech space, and I'm glad this documentary is coming before yours, which is fully tech, another tech story from Ghana, and we'll get to see how AI is sorting out health issues in Ghana. So this was the southern part of Transformers is about Zambia. Now we are moving to the western part of Africa to see how Ghana is being helped by AI.
Well, thank you for plugging my show next week, and thanks again for joining me here, Jeff. I would like to say to our viewers, tune in 12:30 East Africa time Sunday. This show is a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.